Morning everybody, and welcome to today's Sunday Q&A on this bright Friday morning, which is today brought to you from GXO in Birmingham. B46, or around about B46, it's not B46. Yeah, I've got today's load. I've got the new app. We've got the new app on the, I was doing something on the computer yesterday and said, do you want a beta test? Do you want to, test it for free? The new application, and I went, okay, do I want to do this? You do that thing, as my mate Knight says, you can stick your upgrades up you somewhere, where the sun don't shine, because you upgrade or you update it and you go, all right, don't work now. It worked before, why didn't I just leave it alone? But so the new app, it's a bit desktop-y. One thing I really like so far is the fact that if you want to, I do the thing, because if I want to work out my jobs coming back, I've got the desktop version of the app stored on my phone, so you go to that and then you go, show me the mobile version of the desktop, and you start clicking it in, and it's kind of painful. And before I used to have small fleet, and you could even say, well, where do you want to search from? So I want to search from here and this day at this time, and it would let me do it. The new app seems to let me do that, but what I will probably do, which will come as no surprise to you, is I'm going to play with it for a week or two, and then I'll do a video on it. I might do more than one video on it, because it might take more than one video. How to complete jobs on the new app. How to search for jobs in different locations on the new app. How to check out accounts on the new app. I'm aware I'm using the words on the new app too much. I'm going to stop now. Yeah, but it did help me in the fact that I got this morning's job, which was picking up out of MK this morning between 6 and 7. Didn't know where it was going. It said paperwork, delivery address on collection, go to Birmingham. And I thought, I've got this. Oh, just see, does this searching journeys from somewhere else work here? Oh, look, there's a Birmingham and Milton Keynes tomorrow between 9 and 10:30. So I booked it. Of course, get the paperwork. It's GXO. Got here early, got a booking time at 9:30, got here at 8:30. The guy went, we're full up, can you come back at 9:30? I'm like, oh, again. But get here at 9:30, tip by 10:15. The next one's got to be collected by 10:30. I'm pushing it, and it needs to be back by 2. I can still probably do it, so I've rung them. I thought I'd be on the safe side. I've rung the guy. I've said, here's the score. He said, yeah, it sounds like it's okay. And in fairness, if I've got a booking time of like 9 o'clock, this is a good question for the wise guys. You've got a booking time of 9 o'clock. If I turn up at 25 past 9, they've got a booking time of 9:30. If I turn up at 25 past 9, they're not going to say come back in 5 minutes. If I turn up at 10 past 9, yeah, all right, mate. What at 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock, they might go come back in half an hour, in which case I thought if I left it another 10 minutes, I'd have got in. So I think I might try at 9. And if he says come back in half an hour, I go, really? Half an hour? Honestly, can't I just come and sit in the yard? He says, well, you ain't got enough parking. Maybe he hasn't, I don't know. Anyhow, so today's introduction, I'm going to leave because I like this. This goes to CW Logistics. He says, Pete, I need a word. So I'm driving along country lane that Google Maps felt was a great shortcut for me. Don't you love them? There's a video on this. If I remember, I'll do a link about, the way to check out the sat-nav before you do it. It works for me in a truck, I get you what I'm saying. Late at night, chucking it down with rain and the mist descending. I'm concentrating on my drive while vaguely listening to you in the background when I heard his sudden moo. Scared the life out of me. I'm looking around trying to work out where it came from, and then realised it was on your video. Once I changed my trousers, I was able to continue. Whilst on the subject, could you have a word with your fellow YouTubers and get them to mute out any sirens on their videos? As I normally send a few seconds, make sure I'm not speeding where I'm coming from. Cheers, mate. Keep up the good work. Thank you. CWG6. Right, that is comment of the week. Because we've now got comment of the week. It's now question stroke comment of the week, which wins you a t-shirt. Because I've got 50 to give away. So if you want one, just send your name and address and what size you like to petethehxtrucker @gmail.com. And I will post it to you. And anyone who's waiting for their t-shirt, the reason you haven't got it is I haven't posted them yet. But I plan to do it this weekend. Last weekend was busy. I had to go and visit a mate of mine who's having a major operation today. He's having for pancreatic cancer. So we're fingers crossed on that. It's a big old deal, that one. That's my mate Paul. Everybody wish Paul luck. Well, by the time you see this, we'll know. Yeah, so that was comment of the week, which is comment and question of the week, and also question of the week goes to Chris. He says, off topic slightly, but maybe worth a conversation. Has anyone found the increasing amount of shippers now expecting 2 hours of waiting time before waiting charges apply? So if you do 2 local runs a day, you could effectively be working for 8 hours for nothing. I say no. There is that. I mean, I don't like it. I think it's too much. Where was I this week? I was in Brakes. Oh, Brakes in Newark every time. And in fairness, this time it wasn't their fault. This time I got there, once again, an hour early. And they went and took the paperwork. Yeah, over there, bay 28. You're on as soon as that driver comes off. So I went, fine. Backed on. Lights gone green. No, first of all, they said, can you take your pump truck off because it's got 3 crates on it. Okay. So I've done that. Then dunk, dunk, dunk. And then the light went green. I thought, that was quick. Yeah, we've had to reload you with your load because you've got 13 pallets and the paperwork you've got is for 7 pallets. And the guy who's actually got the 7 pallets, while we might have to take it off you, has turned up. So now his the paperwork that you've got corresponds to his load, so we'll take that. You've got to sort yours out. And then ensued the normal, right, I've sent you an email, I've sent you the documentation on your phone, I've got it, okay, there is, no, I can't look at your phone, can you email it to us in Brakes? 3 attempts to email it to us in Brakes because I had the most complicated alphanumeric code email address I've ever seen. They finally got it and went, yeah, we'll take you. But then by 3.5 hours, and I'm thinking I'm going to lose any chance I've got of getting back to Milton Keynes. But as it turned out, they went, I got boom, 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 boom. I went to pull off and the guy said, we've taken 30 of the 13, we've taken 11. 2 of them, the lips are too big, so they won't fit on our racking. And I'm like, okay, they look absolutely normal to me, but there you go. So then I had to ring my firm and went, I've got 2 pallets on board, what do you want me to do? And they went, you're going to have to bring them back. We can't restack and we can't do anything. You have to bring them back. So I did get return load. I didn't pull their trousers down. He said, how much do you want? It was 100 miles. I went, I've got nothing else, 200 quid. She went, I'm happy with that. So, they just had to take the hit and I had to bring them back. But again, I could have gone, oh, well, I've been here for 3.5 hours and I want, and I charge £4 a mile to bring it back and I had a job, but I didn't. And I whacked it back to Milton Keynes and then picked up my favourite job at the moment, which goes from Leighton Buzzard to Fenny Stratford. There's 2 John Lewis distribution centres in Milton Keynes, I didn't realise. I know MP1, MP2 and MP3, but there's also one in Fenny Stratford, which is Bletchley, which is the size of an airport. Yeah, which is nice. So anyway, that's all that. So yeah. So that's question week. Once again, Chris, if you would like a t-shirt, please text your name and address to petethehxtrucker at gmail.com and let me know what size you would like, and I will get posted when I'm around. If it comes between, well, no, you won't see this till Sunday. I don't want to post these on Saturday. So, and I will, yeah, I'll get one out to you. Cheers. Right, this week's fuel prices. Well, it's last week's fuel prices. Last week I had Express Fuels at 114.69. Watson's, no, they were a little bit dearer, but they're the lads. I like Express Fuels. He actually phoned me. He phoned me during the week to say, we got a customer because of you. And he said, I'm ringing to say thanks. I don't get any dough out of them. They don't sponsor the channel or anything like that. But they're 2 lads and they're trying to do it on their own. So if you want a card, give Express Fuels a ring. They're not always the cheapest, but they are trying. And some weeks, because they work on a 4-week cycle and everyone works on a 2, you get the price 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks different, and sometimes they do win. It's worth having, so Watson's were 113.77, Motia was 114.04, and UK Fuels are still in the land of Nod, land in Gaga land, lost in showbiz out there, UK Fuels, 117.67. Good luck with that. And White Van Man, who's always my go-to one on the comparison site on this one, he said he has Watson's at 113.93. So I actually got Watson's slightly cheaper than that never happens. Sylvie Key Fuels 112.32. That's cheap. Tate Fuels Drive Card at 113.85. Hashtag Fuel Watch. Yeah. He said about the Watson thing. He said it's right. Drive Card. More information on this. Drive Card is now renamed to Tate Fleet. He said, I've also had a falling out with them. They took a standing fee payment for my card, which they've always waived before, without any advance notice. I've emailed them, giving me two options. Either refund and waive the fee, refund the fee and waive it, or refund the fee and close the account. He said, I'll let you know next week which one you choose. I look forward to hearing from that, my friend. He said, I refuse point blank to pay a subscription fee to give them the opportunity to sell me stuff, especially given that more often than not, they're less competitive than my other cards. Which way fees? It's true. It's like the Jack D sketch, isn't it? He says, I turned up at a boot fair. They charged me £1 to come in. And he said, I thought, well, this stuff's going to be absolutely brilliant because you can walk into some of the best shops in the world for free. As it was a lot of crafty stuff and interesting stuff in wicker. Right, which leads us to last week's mistakes. No last week's mistakes. Straight onto this week's video, which was 2 hours handball, which I did the 2 hours when I turned up at the cricket club. And I thought cricket club, it's going to be big, have a nice big open space. They'll have forks, they'll be geared up for it. No, small. Don't get me wrong, they had a yard, which was 9 tents taken up by the tent where people were going to be drinking beer. So I had to park next to the tent, and then we kind of had to get it off the tail and get it off the back. I managed it, but I managed to do most of it before they even turned up. Hence 2 hours free handball. Shane Hardy said 2 hours free handball, but it helped you get an extra job. Handball for, so I managed to get a win-win. I got a job on the way back as a result, which I wouldn't have got if I had been later, so I couldn't do it. Chris says, it's a fair point, this. He says, it's a bit risky getting to places early. Like I'm here today at GXO. I could have had an extra hour in bed. And it would have been nice because when mine went off, I was fast asleep at like 5 o'clock this morning. But you don't know. And you think, well, if I can get it, I just want the day to go, get it moving, And I still maintain it's now 20 to 8. I will try again in 20 minutes or half an hour. I'm surely I can get it at 9:10. If he says your booking time's at 9:30, I went, by the time I turn this round, it'll be time to come back. He said, bit risky getting, right, Chris, bit risky to get to the place early. I've tried many times. I find lots of places don't like you getting there early. So if you get to a collection or delivery at 2 in the morning, 2 hours early, and they don't load tip you, you've just wasted 2 hours on your taco. But you already wasted 2 hours on your taco because you can clear your driving time while you're waiting. Go on, I'll go and break then. But what you have wasted is 2 hours of your working day. Your work time directive. But bearing in mind the fact your work time directive is 15 hours 3 times a week, you're unlikely to use that. You wasted 2 hours on your taco that you might want later for job swings and roundabouts, I guess. It's that thing, isn't it? You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Get here early, they say you can't come in. Get here on time. I go, would you take me early? They go, oh yeah. Okay, great. I always I'll go with a form if I can get it. If I have to, what do you do with your time? Make videos and upload them to YouTube. That's the way forward. And my mate Dave, who's I spoke to during the week, he's Dave the cab driver. He said, we spent half our lives loading and unloading vehicles in the good old days. No problem for you. Good exercise. Oh yeah, I'm on the exercise thing. I'm now doing the park runs. Oh, I hate running. But there's no exercise like it. From the point of view of like weight loss and breathing and exercise, running's great. It's just horrible. And of course there's the weights in the gym, which I've now... Go on, mate, you crack on. Yeah, it's fine, yeah. Hang on a second. I've got a booking time of 9:30, so you go ahead. That's right, yeah. Sorry, just don't know what's going on there. I was flipping off for the others just to pull in front of me. Yeah, and I bought one of these, what do they call it? MetaQuest 3S I've got. Because you can do exercise games on it. So you can do fitness and it's fun and you're in your front room and you punch invisible squares and then duck under invisible things. It's not the reason I bought it. I bought it because I want to play Batman. But Christmas is coming. It'll occupy me over the festive period. Although I'm also thinking of booking at least 2 CPC training courses over the festive period because I've got quite a bit of time off. I'm going to be off from like Wednesday through to the following, for 10 days. And it will be a good opportunity to start cracking on with that. So we'll see. Yeah, where was I? Good exercise. Yeah, when we were market traders, that's what we used to do. We just used to, every morning I would do 2 hours. I would get to work, I would unload the van. That would take an hour. Then I would work all day. I'll be on my feet all day, stand up. You don't sit down. And then, so you'll be on your feet from like 7 in the morning till about 4 in the afternoon when it's starting to pack away again. Then another hour packing away, and you lose all this exercise when you're sitting on the truck. You know, when you're doing this all the time. So I think it's important to try and get someone on the sideways just to try and, you know, keep the weight off a little bit, which is clearly not working. Well, you know what size I'd be if I was not doing it. And just keep yourself active, keep yourself moving. So yeah. Enough on that one, which brings us to miscellaneous. Sharji says, right, he's done a little breakdown for anyone who's interested. He said all cost per mile, fuel, tyres, maintenance 25p a mile, insurance and tax 15p a mile, depreciation 15p. He says I've got to be per mile. CX fees, admin 10p a mile, dead miles, buffer 10 to 15p a mile. You calculate the cost per mile. You can now calculate the profit. If you go less than that, good luck. Or start co-loading, which is not allowed. Either buy a cheap van and risk all you've got for peanuts. Harsh but true figures. If you go lower than this, you'll either run the van dead or end up saying bye-bye. It's a conveyor belt of fools, isn't it, really? But if we do a quick maths on that, and I guess this is based on van costs, not lorry costs, it's 25, 40... 55, 65, call it 80p a mile. Right, if that's 80p a mile, you've worked out in a form of insurance, tax, depreciation. That's got to be a lorry cost. Can you do 15p a mile in a truck? I don't know. But if you're paying 80p a mile just to run, if you're quoting £1 a mile, you're making 20p a mile. So that's not a lot of help, is it? I think, oh no, it's going past. There he goes. Right. So, don't know. Have to drill into that one. The truth of the matter is, you work it out. If as Theo says, business is easy. If you buy potatoes for 20 pence, you sell them for 40p, you make a profit. You buy them for 20p, you sell them for 10p, you make a loss. You just have to work out what it's costing you. And normally there is like an industry standard, which is after a while you work out what everybody else is charging, and you go, well, they're all charging it, and they're still running. So that must be the right price. And if you charge more, you don't win. And if you charge less, the phone rings too quickly, but then you find you're in trouble when your gearbox goes. So that's it for today's Q&A. You guys wish me luck. I'll let you know how it goes next week if I remember, which I won't. I'm gonna, because they're now queuing up to get in, I'm just gonna join the queue. And if you're still here early, I go, oh no, I was in the queue. So yeah, we'll give them a little bit of time. We'll see if we can get in. So in the meantime, fingers crossed this one works, because I'll end up in Milton Keynes done about 2 o'clock, and then hopefully I can get something out of you know, Leighton Buzzard, MK, maybe Hitchin, ready to deliver on Monday, one step closer to Christmas, and still taking care and taking money.